This is Kat Miller with Blue Iris Learning Center, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about switch words and diffusing words, kind of give you a little bit more history on them and how to work with them. We have 3 different categories of switch words, and these I have created myself, the categories, because I felt that it was a good idea to give everybody a little bit more information on those. The 3 different categories are the universal switch words, which are switch words that basically work for everybody. These switch words, there are 125 of them. It's a stable list of switch words. It includes 75 switch words, which originated from James T. Mangan in his book, The Secret of Perfect Living, and 25 additional switch words that Shanyam Nirov gave us in his book, Switch Words Easily Give to You Whatever You Want in Life. And then we have the universal switch words that came through me, the 25 additional universal switch words. We had checked, and it was a finite number of universal switch words that had not yet been discovered, and so Rhoda and I and a few of my friends got together and started to test for switch words using reflex muscle testing, which is what I use to do all of my work. And then once we had discovered the 25 universal switch words, we began looking at the open switch words, which tend to work for between 50 and 95% of people, whereas the universal switch words basically work for everybody. We're looking at a little bit fewer people that they work for. We decided that we would only define the open switch words that work for 80% or more of people, rather than defining all of the thousands of switch words that work for fewer than that. So there we have the universal and the open switch words. And then personal switch words, which are switch words that work on a personal level. Often people's names will be personal switch words for you, simply because somebody that's close to you or that you know real well will bring up particular things relating to their personality, what they do, how they are, and how you want to be. And so those would be personal switch words there. Diffusing words are a little bit different from switch words. They are something that came in to me, and I did define the term diffusing words. It's originated, anybody who uses diffusing words, they originated from me at Blue Iris Learning Center. Just a little bit of information for you there. When we were looking at open switch words early on, we had some words that seemed to be important words, but they weren't testing out as switch words. But I had a feeling that there was something else that we needed to look into. And what we were looking at is what these words did, related always to the emotions. It's about helping to diffuse and release negative emotional states. And that is why I chose the term diffusing words, because it helps in diffusing emotional situations. And one of the first diffusing words to come in was dewdrop. And dewdrop is all about releasing negative emotions, fear and such. So the big difference between switch words and diffusing words is switch words represent an action, condition, or response you would like to see, and diffusing words are all about letting go of those negative emotions to allow yourself to shift to a more positive space. So Switchwords, diffusing words, you can work with them both together and create phrases with both involved, or either one of them. Or you can use an individual switchword or diffusing word. Now that you know a little bit of the history of switchwords and diffusing words, I want to tell you a little bit about how to make them work for you. It's really, really easy. You can just say, you can chant, you can intend, you can think, you can write. Whatever way you want to use it is great. Some people like to write the words on their body, and that works great too. You can do that because you're putting it into your energy field, and that is a simple way of working with switchwords and diffusing words. Writing it. A lot of people will write on their left hand or the left arm because the left side is the receiving side, but it's okay if you write it anywhere. In fact, if you have a pain somewhere on your body, you can write change or dewdrop or whatever you want to write on the body part that you want to have affected or close to it. That's just fine, whichever way you want to do it. You can do that. I call those switch phrases. And I like to put a hyphen between the switch words just to break it up and make it smooth and easy to read what it is. And you can combine, generally, a few switch words is good. Going beyond 9, 10, maybe a dozen, is starting to get very complex, and so it's probably better to just make a shorter switch phrase and utilize that. We tend to work really well with threes. We remember things in threes. And so a short switch phrase that is just 3 words can be very useful and very easy for you to chant, think, intend. And so that's one way to work with those. Many people have asked, well, how many times do I need to repeat a switch word or a switch phrase or a diffusing word? And the number doesn't matter. There are all kinds of thoughts that people have given on that. There are those who do mantras, and they have the beads and will count 108 times, repeat 108 times like they do with mantras. There are those who feel that 45 repeats is important, and they'll do that. James T. Mangan suggested that 28 repeats of the master switch word together would work wonderfully. He said that he had an amazing week when he did that one time. He repeated together, a total of 28 times as quickly as he could without losing breath. And so we have people that do it just once. We have people that will repeat it 28 times, 45 times, 108 times. It really isn't extremely important how many times you repeat it. Just do it as you wish. And you don't have to say it out loud. You can say it in your head, think it, intend it, write it as you wish. Simplicity. Don't need to make switch words complicated. Simplify. Very, very simple technique to utilize. People have asked, why is it that switch words work for others and never work for me? Or they may ask, why did they work for me up front and they're not working for me anymore? Did they get old? What is the difference? Why is it that the switch words aren't working for me when they're working for everybody else? Up front, often people will experience a switch word working very powerfully for them. This is the universe letting you know, this is cool. Yes, I get your message. And it gives you what the switchword is offering. However, you need to support the switchwords. What do you mean, support the switchwords? If you continue to do what you've always done, how can you expect something to change? We are creatures of habit, and switchwords help us to change habits. And when you use switchwords, you often will get very powerful insights and impulses to do something different. Now, if you ignore that impulse, if you ignore the sudden change that you had in your thinking, if you go back to what you have always done, the way that you've always thought, the way that you've always acted, you're saying, never mind. Never mind, I don't really want it. Never mind, I'm not going to do that. If you want switchwords to support you, support switchwords. So there you go. Switchwords, diffusing words, how to work them, how to get them to work for you. And next time we'll talk about some specific switchwords and diffusing words for specific things. I appreciate you watching this, and I look forward to sharing more time with you.